Good afternoon YouTube, Ian here from Coolice Charge Cases and Power Supplies. I hope you and your family are all keeping safe and well in these still uncertain times. Hopefully it appears all over the world we are starting to be able to see light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, and we should all hopefully now come out of it without losing too many more people, which has been very sad. My heart and thoughts go out to those who have lost loved ones in this horrible time. Anyway, as to normal to be expected from myself with these videos, I have another charge case I'd like to show you. I'm making this one a little bit of a short and sweet one because I must get on with the next order. They're badgering me for it, so I need to crack on with that shortly. So this one's just been completed. I had some other little things to finish off this morning, which were the four main charging 4mm binding posts, or banana sockets should I say. They arrived yesterday. I needed to solder on some lengths of wire and then terminate those in the matching 4mm bullet to then plug into the front of the Revo Electrics PL8 DUO, which the customer has, as this case is a PL8 DUO case. So let's break it all down a little bit. We've got the usual Max 505 case that I quite like. I've got my, it's obviously showing upside down. There is method for that, so when the lid is open it reads the right way up. Got my little lasered plaque on the front. The mushroom head bolts there are also holding details on the inside of the case, which will make more sense in a minute on the lid. So let's open it up. I've obviously already undone the catches. I don't want to hit the wall if I can, so I'm just going to check that. So let's start at the top. We've got one of my basic lid tidy designs there. I've changed this one around slightly. The customer originally wanted the MPAs on the deck, but due to space constraints, and I was a bit worried, I didn't want to necessarily build them into the deck, because then there wouldn't have been very much room then for the customer then to orientate his batteries or locate his batteries around the MPA boards to charge them. So I wanted to give him the option whereby he could either lay the MPAs on the deck, or lay them on the bench or tabletop worktop on either side of the case. The stipulation was he didn't really want any connections for the chargers on the sides of the case. I've put them on the outer edge of the deck, which you'll see shortly. But anyway, because obviously the MPAs then aren't fixed in any way, the other option at one stage was Velcro, but I again wanted to leave it open. I created a variation of my basic lid tidy, whereby there is some cutouts then, which is obviously better shown on this side. Obviously it's oversized, but it fits around the, should I say, the MPA then locates roughly within it. You can see obviously the small gap around it, and then obviously a couple of Velcro straps then lightly secure the boards in place, and that works really well. Obviously a plug to the align there, because I didn't have any just plain black ones the right length. I need to look for some. Due to the height of the MPAs, obviously height was an issue. The lids on these cases are reasonably deep, but not that deep, so you don't get much wiggle room, would be a good word to use. So with the fixings, I came up with an idea to 3D print some mushroom kind of like nuts, if you like, which are obviously blind at this end. And you'll see in the photos that I'll put at the end of the video, because I've taken some pictures of these on their own. They're obviously got a recess cut into them, which is obviously hexagonal shape, so then I could push an M5 nut inside, and obviously there's a hole coming in from the rear, which is obviously blind, so you can't see it at the front. So that then obviously pushes within the 14mm diameter hole that I laser cut into the 5mm acrylic. This is 5mm acrylic on this, so laser for the top deck. Quite nice and simple, nice and quick. So these obviously push in. Behind those then it protrudes, I think I allow 3mm from memory. So they push through, they protrude by 3mm. I then 3D printed a washer that was obviously 3mm thick, 14mm ID, and I think about 22 diameter OD behind it, so that that acted obviously then as a spacer, and the idea behind having only 3mm behind the acrylic plate was just to allow enough room for the Velcro straps to obviously go through and pass through. And I've got a couple of loops up the top as well, which are obviously openable as well, where the end is. Oh, it's up this end. So obviously put some leads in. I've left, unfortunately I had to leave some others unpopulated because I didn't realise I was running out of the 16mm wide Velcro loop. So we'll have to sort that out, but the customer will basically decide how he wants this side of things, because he's got a couple of little small extra leads that he might want to fix in there, and I don't have those here. So we've got a slight 3mm gap behind there, which works just well. The Velcro loop can go behind, and of course then with the MPA secured in place, the lid then closes nicely. So that was the main criteria, if you like, behind that design, and it's worked well. Employing my 3D printed bump controller holder as normal, which works well with the cable chain, protecting the wires that obviously go through then into the lower deck, and that works really well. Again, maybe I allowed a little bit too much wiggle room on that, thinking to allow for slight tolerance issues maybe if there was any, but it's fine. It sits well, it looks good, and it's functional. So that works well. I'm pleased. So that's the lid build to a T. Nice and simple, short, sweet, does the job. Lower deck. As you can see, apart from the back edge, it's relatively simple. We've got, along the back, the customer requested the ability to turn off either side of the charger when he doesn't want to use it. So we've got a rotary isolator switch for channel 1, or the first side of the PL8 DUO, and a rotary isolator switch for the second side. So obviously that just basically disconnects the positive going to the chargers. Next to each one of those then, you've got a USB charge port. I've gone for the aluminium style ones, and these ones obviously have the little readout in the middle. One thing I did have to change with those actually, because there's two, one on either side, and there's another reason why we've gone for two. I'll explain that in a minute. Originally I did have them wired in series, and it probably would have worked in reality, but it didn't seem to really want to work too well, because one voltage reading was showing around 20 odd volts, and the other side was showing 4 point something volts to make up the ultimate voltage of the server power supply setup within it. So I had to quickly change that, and then obviously just run the positive and negative to one, and then daisy chain it then across to the other one. So they're getting 24 volts, and it works quite well like that. So that was good. Quickly changed that this morning. Got the usual radial cooling fans in there, and obviously I've gone for my flush grill again, which looks quite good. Coming down, these are obviously the main charge ports that are obviously then, they're on 3 wires currently at the moment. They're just floating around in the deck. You've got my custom balance port, charge port there, which has also got the at the time the JST PA, I think it is, for the Revo Electrics MPA boards, and then you've got the 9-pin JST XH as well for the more common XH variety connectors. So with the balance ports, it's obviously a bit more multi-role. You got the positive and negative, which obviously black and red, very easy, and obviously they're there to suit the shrouded 4mm bullets of the MPA, so that works quite well. Usual air slots along the front as per normal. Then we come to the other side, and we've got the same. Basically it's a mirror image. Whatever you've got on one side you've got on the other. So you've got the rotary isolator switch, got the grill fan there, or fan grill, got it round the wrong way, and it's just going to work. He's just going to have a lot of room there on the deck, so he's got the option. He can obviously put his batteries on the deck if he's got smaller batteries, or if need be, have the MPA coming off the side and laying on the desk beside. And the only thing realistically on the outside of this case is the AC input on this side. Again, I've done one of the 3D printed bezels around there. It just finishes it off nicely, I think. And then coming around to the left side, we've got positive 12 volt out and positive 25 volt out coming off the power supplies as well, in the form of an XT90 and an XT60. So nice and simple. This one's ready to go. I haven't contacted the owner quite yet. I'm going to send him some pictures now and say to him, it's done, we can send it off to you and get it out to you so you can start enjoying it. So he'll be happy. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I've spared you all from looking at my ugly mug gassing away at the beginning, so I hope that obviously makes your day a little bit brighter. Stay safe, stay healthy, and chat to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.